Hey guys, welcome here. My name is Philip, and in this lecture we are going to create Electron JS application together with React JS library. This lecture will be very practical. You can expect a lot of coding. So without any further waiting, let's start. And no worries, there will be also theory, but I will be explaining it along the coding. So let's start. Alright, open your terminals if you're on a Mac machine. If you're on a Windows, open PowerShells, and let's create here a folder for our projects. So I'll create here a new folder, mkdir, for creating new directory, and the name of the folder, let's say YouTube projects, and into this folder I will create new folder for my project. So now cd to change the directory to YouTube projects, and now mkdir again to create a project, let's say electron-react-app. Of course, you can do these steps in a Finders or in a File Explorers, or you can use the commands as I am using. Okay, now we have an Electron React app. I will navigate to Electron React app. Perfect. And we'll initialize here npm. So simple as write here npm init-y, and this will initialize package.json for you. And of course, if you want to use here npm, you need to have a node installed. So you can verify if you have a node. -v. If you don't have a node installed, it's very simple to install. Just open your browsers and let's search here for Node.js. You should see here website node.js.org. Okay, so here it is, and please install latest LTS version. Just follow the steps. It's very, very, very simple. All right, so let's continue. I suppose now you have your package.jsons. All right, and we will navigate inside of these folders. Okay, so you open colligator of your choice. We'll open this one, and let's find our new project. So I have created it in my YouTube project. Here it is, and here is the Electron React app. Very simple application. There is basically nothing, just a package.json. All right, so what we need to do when we want to initialize Electron, first of all, we need to install Electron, and we need to create here a file that will be executed. So first of all, I will create here a new file. I will call it main.js. This will be our main script, and inside of the here, I'll write simple console log, and I will console log here hello world. Perfect. All right, let's continue in our package.json here, and what we want to do here is to create script to execute this file. Here you can see here property main, and this will be provided to Electron when Electron will be executed, and index.js file will be executed. Since we don't have here any index.js file, we will specify here our main.js file. So simply change here index for main.js, and then we can install Electron. Okay, so let's go to your terminals, and let's install here Electron. So let's write here npm install --save and Electron. This will install Electron, and then we can use it in our projects. Okay, so just a couple of seconds, it will be installed very shortly, and now we can go to our coding editors. All right, what we want to do here is to create, first of all, I will create here a start script. Okay, so let's write here comma, let's write here in scripts, let's write here start, and we want to execute here Electron. So just simply write here Electron space dot, and this will execute main.js file. So now when you will go back to your terminal and you will run here npm start, you will see here hello world, and it's kept running. You will see it will not shut down the application. It will keep running. It will be loaded in memory of your computers. When you will go here, you should have here also Electron logo. Okay, and when you will go up here, when you click on this logo, you can see here this application is loaded, but it doesn't have any graphical user interface. So what we need to do now is to create a graphical interface for our application. And that's one of the benefits of an Electron framework, is that we can use the technologies as a HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. All right, so let's do it. Let's go to our coding editors. We can shut down this. You can just write here Control-C or Command-C, and let's go to our coding editors. And let's go to our main.js, and we'll initialize here Electron. So if we want to use Electron, we need to import here a couple of things. So let's write here const, in a curly brackets, we'll import vin, and we'll import it from Electron. So = require, and we'll write here Electron. Perfect. Now let's continue. Let's create here function, and I will call it create window function. Create window like this. All right, simple function, normal brackets, curly brackets for a function body. And what we want to do now here is to create, let's say, variable. We can call it just simply win. And here we'll initialize new browser window. So we will create an instance of a browser window, but first we need to import the browser window here from an Electron browser window. And now we will simply create a browser window, and it will provide here a couple of options. It will provide the size of the window. So let's say initial size of a window will be 1200 pixels times height, and a height will be, let's say, 800 pixels. All right, like this. Then you will specify background color. Let's say this can be white color. And also you will specify here web preferences. This is just for security reasons. And we will write here node integration to be false. I will be talking about this later. Node integration false. World save execute JavaScript. Here this will be true. And also context isolation you will provide to true. Context isolation true. Perfect. So let's continue. After you will create this instance of a win, all right, you will load a file. So let's write here win load file, and this will be our basically our graphical user interface, what we're gonna display to the users. So this will be our view to the users. What we want to load here, it will be actually file in our folder structure here, and we will call this file index, and extension will be HTML. Index HTML. So you can see here in Electron you can use HTML, and it will be parsed by Electron and displayed. All right, so that's basically it. Now we can go into our project folder and we can create here index HTML file, and we can create here very simple HTML. All right, so first I will mark here doc type that we are using HTML5, so doc type HTML. Perfect. Now let's write here basic HTML tags. Then let's use here head tag, and of course let's use here body tag. So body here. Perfect. In the head, we'll provide some security options. Let's specify here first meta that we are using here UTF char set. So let's write here char set. This will be UTF A. This is just some generic boilerplate you are using, but you are writing HTML, and the other meta will be content security policy. Okay, so meta again. Let's provide here closing tag. Let's write here content security policy. This will be actually HTTP equif, and here will be content dash security and policy, like this. And content, okay, I will make this wider. Content for this will be script dash src, script dash src, and this will be a self, like this. Okay, this is just for security reasons, just some common boilerplate. All right, and now in a body we'll write some text or some HTML elements we would like to display. Let's say I will create here a div with the ID of the root. This will be my root div, and inside I will display h1 with the text hello world. Hello world. All right, and here are these options. You don't need to worry this. Here I'm just saying that I don't want to execute here inline scripts inside of this HTML, and also I don't want to execute third-party scripts. All right, so this is the text hello world. Now we are loading into our main.js this file of an index HTML. This is not done yet because we need to call a function, create a window. When Electron is initialized, it will emit one event we can catch in the function when ready. Okay, so I can access here app.whenReady. You can see we don't have here any app, so we need to, or actually it was imported for me automatically. So let's get here app when ready, and here when your application will be ready, you will get into then, because this is a returning promise, and you can simply call here function create window. You can provide function instead of it then, and this will create a browser window for you. And as I can see here, I don't need here win object to import. I don't know why I imported this. I wanted just a browser window. All right, so now let's save everything and let's try to run your Electron application. So let's clear it out. Let's run here npm start, and you will see as soon as you will run it, here is your hello world. It's very suspiciously similar to Google Chrome browsers, this type of the browser window. And also you can click here view, and you have here developer tools, and you can inspect HTML network, your source code, and so on. So this is very similar to Google Chrome application. And there is a reason why it is similar, because both Electron and Google Chrome, they are using some core architecture they have in a common. Okay, so now it's a little bit part of the theory, just few words. Both of the Google Chrome and Electron are based on the Chromium. That's the part they are sharing, and Chromium can parse the HTML, it can render it out, it can create the DOM trees, and all of this fancy stuff you are seeing in your Google Chrome browser. So that's why Electron application have a capabilities to run HTML. The other part that they have in a common, the reason why we can use JavaScript, is V8 engine. Google Chrome uses V8 engine. Electron application use Node.js, which internally use V8 engine. Thanks to V8 engine, we can compile JavaScript, we can interpret it, and we can run and execute JavaScript in our browser environment. Since we are using here Node.js, we have also access to some low-level operating system API. We can access the files in Electron application, we can access the networking, we can access some native features as a battery, we can access menus, and so on. And all of this thanks to Node.js. And of course, thanks to these technologies, we can use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript both in the Electron application and the Google Chrome browsers. So you can see they have lots of in common, and that's the reason why we can write native applications in Electron. All right, guys, so let's continue in our practical part, and let's try to implement more features. All right, let's go to our terminals, and the second step here will be to create a React.js application, because since we are using JavaScript, we can use any JavaScript framework we want. So I want to use a React library, so I'll shut down my application, and I'll run here npm install --save react and react-dom. That's what you need to have a React. After it's installed, we can go to our code editors, and we can create here base code for our React application. So here in our root folder, let's create here a new folder. Let's call it src. Instead of this folder, I will create a new folder. I will call it JS for a JavaScript. And in a JS folder, I will create a new file, and I will call it index.js, where I will initialize my React application. Here I will be writing imports. So I will be using here this ES6 syntax, where I can use the imports. You can see here in a Node.js environment in Electron, you are using requires, because Node.js has common modules, and you can import common modules with a require. There is no such import and a from syntax. But here I will be able to use the imports, right? So let's write here import React from React, and we will also import here React DOM, import React DOM from React-DOM. When we want to initialize the React application, we will use here React DOM and a function render, where we'll provide the element we would like to render out. Let's say for now h1, I'll write here hello React application or app, and the second value will be the HTML node where we would like to insert this hello React application h1. So we have in our index HTML, we have here div with the ID of root, so we can get it and we can insert it. We can insert our h1 of hello React application into this node. So I'll write here document and a get element by ID, and we'll get there our element of the root, which should insert our h1 into it. All right, and that's basically it. So now let's go to our index HTML, and we'll say here that we would like to load this code of an index.js. So under this div, I'll write here script like this, and I'll write here src, and I will provide a path into this index.js file. So it's inside of a src folder /js, and we are going into index.js. That's what we would like to load. As soon as this should be loaded, we should mount our hello React application into this div with the ID of the root. So I will remove the h1, we don't need it, because now we should mount here h1. Let's save this, let's go to our terminals, and let's start up again our application. So npm start, and you will see as soon as I will run it, it will not simply run, because when you will inspect the code, you will see in a console syntax error. cannot use import statement outside a module. I told you that Electron using this common module system, and the imports are not allowed there. So we are using different version of syntax of a JavaScript as it's allowed. So what we need to do is to parse this version of a JavaScript we are using, this React version of a JavaScript, we need to parse it into some version of a JavaScript that will be understandable by the Electron and our browser here environment. How we can use it? We can use a technology called Babel and Webpack, and Babel will be able to compile our code into JavaScript that we can load into our browser environment, and we can run it here. Alright, so let's do it. Let's go to our terminals, and now we'll install here a lot of packages. So let's prepare for this. There will be a lot of packages. We'll write here. So npm install --save and -dev. This will be development dependencies, and let's keep writing. So we need Babel core. So @Babel/core space, and let's write here also @Babel-preset-env. Now again, @Babel/preset-react. All right, then we need CSS loader. We need style loader. Okay, let's load style loader. Then we need Sass loader if we would like to use SCSS files. So let's get here Sass-loader. Then we need Sass itself. Then we need Webpack, and we need Webpack-CLI. I hope I got all of these packages. I guess there should be 8 packages we need to install. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, actually 10 packages. All right, so let's install everything. Please verify that you are installing, you are providing the correct names. Let's press enter, and this will take a couple of seconds. And after it's installed, we will copy some code. We'll copy configuration for a Webpack, how it should compile our file. So what we want to compile is this index.js into a file that can be loaded into index.html. So after it will be done, we can continue, or actually we can continue. In the resources or in the description of this YouTube video, you should find the link, and this link will point you to my GitHub repository to a Webpack configuration. Please, let's copy the entire configuration you can find in the resources. Just simply drag it, or let's select everything, and let's copy it, and let's go to your code editors, and let's create here a new file, and let's call it webpack-common.js. Let's paste everything here. The only thing to remove from here is the plugins. You don't need any plugins here. Let's simply remove the plugins, and also let's remove this const.env. All right, so remove this part. Also, you can remove the comments. You don't really need them. What really interests you in this file is that the entry is our src.js index.js. So this is our React code. That's an input. That's an input to a Webpack, and an output you can find down here. Output will be file name with the app.js name, and this path of the file will be inside of the build folder instead of a JS folder. You will see when I will run a Webpack, this file will be generated in a build folder. All right, so let's have everything, guys. Now let's verify that the packages were installed for you. If so, that's good, and we can continue back to our coding editors. All right, in our coding editors, let's go to package.json, and in package.json, you will specify a script. We'll call it watch. All right, let's write here column, and in quotation time, I will write a command for a Webpack to compile our file. Okay, so let's write here Webpack. All right, space --config. All right, space webpack.common.js. That's the file name, and also let's write here command -- and watch. What will watch command will do? Watch our index.js file, and whenever we'll do changes in our index.js file, it will re-execute Webpack, and our file will be rebuilded. And don't forget here comma. Now when you will go to your terminals and you will run here npm start, you should see here that the build will be, well, actually not this command. You should write here npm run watch. So run here npm run watch. As soon as you will run it, you will see this will start compiling your files. But we have some issue. We are missing one package, guys. We are missing Babel loader. Okay, my mistake. One last package, npm install --save -dev, and let's install Babel-loader, please. All right, I completely forgot on this package, and now when you will run npm run watch, everything should be fine. Npm run watch, you will see it will take the input of your index.js file and will provide the output of app.js file. You can find it in your build folder, as I told you, build.js, app.js, and this is a compiled version of your code from index.js. And app.js should be understandable by the browser environment, so we can go freely into index.html, and instead of loading our src file, we can simply provide here build/js/app.js, and this will be loaded. Perfect. So now we can save everything. We can go to terminal. Build is done. You can open a new terminal window in the same project folder, and you can run here npm start. This will run Electron, and you can see here, hello, React applications. So now we can freely use React to create native applications. That's perfect. So let's try it out. Let's create one React component. Let's go to our coding editors, and in our src folder, let's create a new file. Let's call it app.js. This will be simple functional component. First, let's import here React. You need to import React in all of your components you are creating, so never forget on this. And let's create here a re-export function. So export default function. Let's call it simply app, like this. And let's return here some JSX, and I can return here h1 I am app component, like this. Now I can go into our index.js. I can get this component here. So let's write here import app from the same folder app, and we can get it into our, instead of h1, so I can remove completely h1. I will get here just app. Then you will save this. First, you need to refresh your application. So you can press Command or Control R to refresh, and you will see here I am component, or you can click here edit, and here should be a refresh somewhere, or view. Here is a reload. So this will reload your component, and this will reload the browser window, and you can see here I am app component loaded from a React component. All right, so this is working just great. Let's try if we can use an index, if we can use SCSS files. So in our src folder, I will create a new file. I will call it index SCSS, and I will specify here that every h1 will be blue. So color will be blue, let's say, like this. We will go to index.js, and we'll import here the same folder index.scss, and let's try it out. Let's save. Back to our application, let's refresh, and now it's a blue color. So everything is working. There's just one thing that's bothering me, that every time we will do changes, we need to refresh our application, and that's not very convenient. So we are going to fix also this. All right, for this, let's go to our terminals. Let's install here one package. It's called Electron Loader. So let's write here npm install --save-dev Electron-loader. All right, while this is installing, we can go back to our coding editors. Okay, I've specified, I think, the wrong name. Let me verify it. Electron Loader. And actually, yes, that's wrong. It should be Electron Reload. All right. And let's write here one more time, npm install --save-dev, and let's specify here Electron Reload. Electron Reload, and this will install the correct package, and it will specify some code in our main.js file to reload our applications. All right, so back here, let's go to your main.js file. And here under our create window, I will specify here. Let's get here our Electron Reload. So let's write here require here Electron Reload, Electron-reload. And now you need to provide here your directory name as a first value. Directory name of your project you can get with from a dir name variable __ dir name. This will get your directory. The second value will be path to Electron executable file. So let's write here comma curly brackets, and let's specify here Electron option column, and here will be path.join, and we want to join multiple paths together. Okay, this should be just simply path. So I need to first import a path. So up here, let's import path module. Let's write here require path, and let's provide this here. So path, like this, dot join, and we would like to join here directory name. So __ their name, node modules, because this is located in a node modules, and then .bin, all right, and then we need to access Electron. If you would like to locate this manually, you can find it, of course, in a node modules.bin, and Electron here. Okay, so here should be it. Okay, so we are providing path to this file here. All right, so I can close node modules. Now we should be reloading also our browser window. So let's save this. Let's go to our terminals. Let's start it up. npm start. Let's try it out. So I will go here. I will go to my app component. So in the src.js app.js, I will rename it, or I will add here multiple. I'll add here button. Let's say I will wrap this into an empty element, and I will get here a button, and in this button I will write notify. All right, let's save. Let's go back to Electron, and here we have a notify button. I don't need to reload my browser window. It's reloaded automatically with the new content. Perfect. So this is working as well. All right, guys. So one last feature we are going to implement will be notify button. Whenever you will click on the notify button, I would like to display here native application notification. All right, and for this, I need to explain you a little bit about the main process and the renderer process. What are the differences between these two processes? And in the meantime, I would like to congratulate you that you have initialized your Electron application together with the React JS library. So from now on, you can create your own Electron native applications together with the Electron. You have a base architecture. The Webpack is configured. You will just run npm run watch to watch your entry point, which is the index.js, and you can freely create more components. You can create more complicated application. You can use a React router. All of this fancy stuff you have available in React. You can use SCSS files and so on. All right, now into the main and renderer process, because as you can see here, browser window is a little bit different as our browser window in our Google Chrome browsers. Here you have also access to lower API of your operating system. So from this, I can access the native notifications. I can access the files on my computer. So at the same time, this can be very dangerous if you will give applications into the hands of your clients. So for that reason, to not expose this low-level API into your clients, we have specified here in our main.js web preferences, where we are specifying node integration to a false. So from inside of our browser window, we cannot access this node feature, this low-level API. We need to expose it manually from the main process. Electron is working into processes. One process is the main process. Main process is the process which is running your main.js file. The main process is creating your window, your browser window, and from the point the browser window is created, it's handled by renderer process. So this browser window is running in a separate process called renderer process. So main.js file running in the main process, the browser window running in the renderer process. We can establish communication between these two processes, and this will be point of this part. Next 5 minutes, I will explain you how you can expose this low-level API into your browser window. Okay, so let's start. Okay, first I should show you actually wireframe for a main and renderer process, because it's kind of important. So let me find it here as a wireframe, and I should have here for you wireframe for the main and renderer process. Just give me a second. All right, so here, okay, here are the steps as it's working. So as soon as you will execute a main.js file, it will be executed by the main process. Main process is created, and it will execute the main.js file. The native graphical user interface is loaded. So by native graphical user interface, I mean these Electron menu files and so on. You can see up here, I don't mean this browser window. The next step is to create this browser window. The main process will create this browser window, which is our interface. The user can interact with our application, and in this browser window will run in its separate renderer process. If you will create more browser windows, each browser window will run in its separate renderer process. Okay, so that's what I was saying already before, but now with a nice image here. All right, so now you would like to expose this API. Let's go to our applications. For this, we need to specify here one script. Let's create here a new file. Let's call it preload.js. And we need to, in our main.js file, inform our browser window about this preload script. You will specify here in a web preferences option preload, and you will write here path.join, and you will join the path to navigate to this preload.js script. You will write here _ their name space and the preload.js to load this file. And in a preload.js, we can export this API. So let's go please to a preload.js. All right, and we need to import here a couple of things. First of all, let's write here const. This is a common module, so const, and let's import here IPC renderer, and let's import here context bridge like this, and you will import it from Electron. Require Electron like this, perfect. Then you will write here context bridge function expose main world, and you will specify here basically namespace under which you would like to expose your API. I will specify here a namespace of an Electron. So we know that we are working with the Electron API, and in the second value we'll specify the object where you can specify the functionalities. Here I will specify that I would like to expose object of a notification API like this. And this can be set over properties and methods, whatever you will want to specify in this object. So let's say I will specify a function send notification like this, in which you will receive the message we would like to display. All right, so message. And then you will simply access IPC renderer, and you will send here message of the type notify like this, and you will provide the message itself here. You can now imagine you can create multiple functions you will expose into your browser windows by writing simply. You can expose, let's say you will have a battery API with the functionalities to access the battery of your computer. You will have a, let's say, files API that will provide the functionality to access the files on the lower level, and so on and so on. But now we are working with the notifications where we would like to send on this renderer process notify message with a message. Now we will be able to access this. So let's go to our app.js where we have a button, and on a click of this button, let's specify here on click in the curly brackets. Let's specify here a callback function. We can execute this Electron. I don't need to import here anything. This will be available on the Windows object, on the global object. Electron, this should be lowercase electron. We can access the notification API, notification API, and a function, how we are calling it. I will verify it one more time. It's send notification. So let's copy this function name. Let's go to our app.js and let's execute this function, and let's provide here our custom message. So let's say my custom notification. To verify this, that it's working, you can save this, of course. You can go to your preload.js and let's write here console log with a message you are getting here. This should be message with just one E. All right, let's save everything, guys. Let's go to our terminals. Let's rerun our application because I think it's not running now. I will quit it and I'll run it again. So npm start. And as soon as I will click here notify, I should get here my console log. So I will open here development tools so I can see my console. And when I will click here notify, you can see here my custom notification. So this functionality is working. But of course, we would like to display actual notification from our main process. So what we can do now, when we are sending this message, we can catch this message in our main.js process. So I will remove this console log. Simply in our main.js, we'll import here IPC main. We'll use here IPC main. So under app when ready, or above, doesn't really matter. Let's specify IPC main and now on. You will specify here message type, we specify here notify. This callback function will be executed. As first value to this function, you will get event. I have here typo, like this. First thing you will get here event. We don't really care about the event, so I'll write here underscore, but the second value will be message you are sending. So all this will be this message. What we want to do here is to create notification. So I'll go to Electron and I will import here notification. I will get it and I will get into notify here, and I will say here create me new notification. So new notification, provide me here object where I will specify title. Let's say notification, and the body of this will be actually message we are getting here. When you want to show the notification, you will provide your function show, and this will show the notification in your application. Let's save this now. Let's go to our application. Let's click here Notify, and you will see here that you are using this notification, and this is the way how you can expose your low-level API to your browser window. Alright guys, so that should be actually it from this video. Just very small improvement I will do here, that we would like to execute Electron reload only in our development environment. How you can check for a development environment is actually very simple. You can just write here, let's say I will call this variable def, or isDef, that's better, isDef. This will say if I am in a development environment, and I will provide here opposite value of app is packaged. Because when application is not packaged, we are in development environment, and now I can use this variable, this value, which will be true or false, and I can say here, if I am in a development, only then execute me here Electron reload. Okay, and you can apply to all of the functionalities you would like to execute only in a development environment. Right, and everything should work. We can reload our components. You can try it out if you will go to app.js, and I will just add here some exclamation marks in the end. It will be reloaded automatically, and it is. Okay guys, so congrats, your Electron application is ready. It's just a basic boilerplate. Now you can create a native applications for Windows, for a Mac OS, for a Linux with the use of an Electron and React library, and you can use any library of JavaScript library you want. The initialized Webpack, everything is working, and with all of this, I will say goodbye, but if you want to see the full course where I'm covering Electron application, where we will create very cool chat application, similar to Discord or this kind of application, you can just follow my course on academy.eincode.com. There is also lots of blog posts. I am writing every 2 weeks. I'm writing some blog posts. So if you're interested, just check it out. And with all of this, I hope to see you in some of my other videos. Cheers, guys!